Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got 3 replays in the Polish tier 9 medium tank, the CS-59. Now the CS-59 is an utterly fantastic medium tank at tier 9. I absolutely love it, and that's because the mobility is decent, the armour is not that great, but it has those sorts of angles that does ricochet the odd shot here and there, but never ever rely on it because it is not the best. Gun handling that's okay. Penetration that's pretty nice, and absolutely fantastic DPM, as well as having pretty damn good camo. So as a medium tank all round, this tank is pretty damn great. I just love the DPM. The reload on this gun is so fast, and you just rip people to shreds so quickly. It's just one of the reasons I love this tank so much, and I just have thoroughly enjoyed every single second of playing it. And if you haven't guessed by the title, as always, this is the video for which I achieved the 3rd mark of excellence for the tank. And yeah, it was a great time. It was great fun to play to get to that stage. It's just a great tank generally, and it's like the whole line generally. The whole Polish medium line is just such a good tank line to play and grind through, because the whole line is so much fun. Because obviously you get the tier 5, which is okay for a tier 5. You get the buggy at tier 6, which is hilarious and great. Obviously you've got the derp gun, well, the 100mm gun with the great AP and the HE if you need it. Or you can use the 90mm, which is just as competitive. You get the CS-44, which is at tier 7, which again, I think is fairly underrated because you get 2 good guns. You get a 90mm gun, which is great. And you get the 100mm gun, which is also pretty damn nice, and you have that ability to slap people for 300. You have, like, good penetration. Your gun depression is better with the 90mm, but it's still not too bad with the 100mm. The armour on the tank isn't great, but that's sort of a feature of the line. It's the type of armour that can ricochet the odd shot here and there because of, again, angles, but for the same part, it's still not something you should rely on, not great. The tier 8 in the CS-53 is wonderful. I love that tank because the DPM on it is utterly insane. The mobility on it is pretty decent, and the camo on it's really damn nice. So as a tier 8 medium, it's really quite a good tank to play. And then you get this tank, which is, like I say, fantastic. It's probably one of the best tier 9s at the tier for its all-round capabilities. And then you get the tier 10, which is the CS-63, which is again another fantastic tank because it's got a great gun, great DPM, great mobility. You've got the 2 different modes. You got the travel mode, well, the turbo mode, and then the fighting mode. I can't remember what the names of the 2 modes are. And that tank is also great because, like I say, it's got the type of armor where you don't rely on it, but you can just ricochet shots here and there. Ricochet things like egg panzers and E4s off of it, and you sit there going, well, okay, sure, whatever, take it. And yeah, it's a great tank. So the whole tank line's fantastic, and like I say, I've enjoyed every single second of playing this tank. It's just so nice to play. So in terms of a crew on the CS-59, I do run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Trap Mechanics, Situational Awareness, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun, and Camouflage and Expertise. Camouflage and Expertise just to make the camo 10% better, just to add to the really good camo that this thing does have. And then all the gun perks, because while the gun is really nice, I want to make it so that it's definitely going to hit most of its shots, because I want to make the most of this DPM. I want to make sure that my shots are going to hit, so I do that. And having all those gun perks either helps me to... Because when I'm playing this tank, sometimes it's one of those things, and it's the same with a lot of tanks in this game, really, to be honest, for me, where I'll run Rammer, Camo Net, and Optics. Optics, obviously, to spot for myself. Rammer, to make the DPM as good as possible. And a Camo Net, again, to just abuse the absolutely fantastic camo that this tank has. But for some reason, sometimes, and especially when I was on the grind for this 3 mark, the gun started to frustrate me, and it started to miss quite a few shots that it just felt like it shouldn't. And so I ended up switching and putting the vert stabs on to give me that 20% better accuracy to make, well, you know, just having 20% better accuracy is always a beautiful thing, right? So it depends on how you feel with it. Again, you chop and change. You change to how you feel comfortable with. If you play it and you think the accuracy is perfectly fine without vert stabs, then you can put something else like the camo net on to abuse the filthy camo that this thing does have. Or you can put a traction system on, and instead of going at like 50 kilometers an hour, you go at 55. Or powertrain if you think it's not got the engine power, although it does. You know, the point being, there's so many different ways you can set up tanks, and it's all down to personal preference. You just take what anybody tells you in a video or anything like that as a basis, you set it up like that, see how it feels, and think, well, you know what, I want to see how it plays with this instead. And if you don't like that, then you change it up to something else, you know. It's all down to you and personal preference, as with everything in this game, right? It's like when you see this tank, I might say that this tank is probably one of the best tier 9 mediums. I do think that, but you might absolutely hate it and think, no, this guy's talking a load of crap. It's not a very good tank at all, you know. Personal opinions. Good is in the eye of the beholder, like love and all that sort of stuff, you know. I think this tank's fantastic. If you set it up with avert stabs, your gun's brilliant. You can make the most of the DPM. But if you run the camo net, you can also just get some filthy positions and stay unspotted. Like Westfield, in the middle area of Westfield, you can use that position, spot people crossing up the 1 line, 2 line, whatever, when they go into K0. Or is it the 9-0? I think it's the 9-0, isn't it? Yeah, when they go into K0 anyway, you can spot people going up there, and you can just stay in the middle in the bushes. People won't spot you. You can pull back, use the bushes, and never get spotted while firing at them. It's pretty good for that. So that's why I say, just set it up how you feel comfortable, and you'll have a great time. I do love this tank. Like 6.6 second reload for 390 alpha is just utterly disgusting, and it's great. So in this first game, we're playing on Kaunas. We've managed to maraud about, get 5k damage so far. Got the tracking shot on this guy, which is juicy for the mark grind, because he absolutely got wrecked. And that gave us a massive boost to our assistance right at the end of the game. And we finished with the victory, 3 kills, 5,100 damage nearly, 2.3k damage, 2.3k assistance, sorry, the ace tanker, 1932 base XP. A really nice game for the CS-59. Let's say an absolutely fantastic tank. It really is so much fun to play. And we're on the second game. In this second game, we're on this map, which is called Kasserine. We got there in the end. It's right in front of me on the screen. Just use your eyes. And we got these spawns. So Kasserine can spawn in 2 different configurations. You can have the base at B2 and J9, or you can have this set. I prefer their spawn from these spawns, because the position you can take up at like D3-4, or yeah, D3-4, somewhere around there, C3, from their spawn is really great, because you can catch people again crossing the 1 line, get some good shots off. If you've got people that sit at A5-6, well, yeah, about 8.5, they will also shoot the people you spot, which gives you lots of assistance, and that's really nice. I feel like the positions that you tend to be able to go to from this spawn garner a hell of a lot more risk, because... Nice driving there, Mr. Links, by the way. Yeah, it garners a lot more risk, because you have to expose yourself a lot more. You have to put yourself in more aggressive positions to be able to get spotting and damage, essentially. So it's just a lot more risky. And teams like to do what they've done here, and that is, well, basically the whole team's gone one way. So there's 2 of us, well, 3 of us defending this one side, which, like I say, their team does like to go this way, so it can cause a problem. So far, we've found this PTA, and we had the Lynx. We got 2 shots into the Lynx, so we're up to 769 damage, with 252 assistance, which is pretty decent so far for saying we've not taken a hit. We move up to a more aggressive position, because it's like, what is over here? We miss the shot on the Lynx, and we end up spotting 2 or 3 other people. And it's like, well, hello there, Mr. Bat Tap. Oh, there's another one. The Kampfpanzer 50T's here. We go for the shot into the drive wheel, but unfortunately we don't track the Kampfpanzer. But he's driving in a very aggressive place, which means we're going to be able to get another shot into him. But that shot didn't go into him. It went somewhere completely different. RNG, server lag, I don't know. It just sort of never went where I was aiming there. That was a weird one. Anyway, runs 1500 damage. This Kampfpanzer is charging down the 1 line, and I don't like the way the wind is blowing. The way the wind was blowing for that position we were in was not good, so I decided to change up the position I was in and get away from it, because it was going to be an easy position for me to get YOLO'd, and that's not what we wanted. We went for the shot into the back of the Kampfpanzer again for that back drive wheel to try and track and pen him. But unfortunately, we only tracked him, but we did get 1100 assistance out of it. So, well, we got a fair bit of assistance out of tracking him, I should say, anyway. So, bonus. But we are spotting that, guys. He got absolutely eviscerated by artillery. Good lord. And that gave us a load more assistance, which is kind of unhelpful with some of the tracking we've had. Because, as you may or may not know, when you're going for a mark of excellence in this game, spotting and tracking don't stack when you're going for the MOE. So you can't always trust how much assistance you've got, because if you know you tracked someone for like 1300, but then you also know you got 1400 spotting assist, well, that together won't give you 2700 assistance towards your MOE. That will only give you 1400 spotting assist towards your MOE, because that is the higher number compared to the tracking assist. It's weird. For me, it's weird that they split tracking and spotting, because it's all assistance, so it should all count towards an MOE, but it doesn't. Whichever is the higher number out of tracking and spotting, that will go towards your combined total for the percentage to go up or down. So you have to bear that in mind. So like this game where we've managed to get like, what, probably 900 tracking damage on that Kampfpanzer, but then we've also ended up with over 1,000 near spotting or something like that. Yeah, we don't truly know how much we're going to get. It's like with, well, we know we've got a spotting with the M103 there, but it's like with that M103, because we tracked him, a lot of that assistance could have been tracking damage, but we don't, you know, we wouldn't know unless we were paying attention. Now we just got a little bit more on the bat tap. So in terms of assistance, we know we're going to get a lot of assistance so far. We're up to 2.1k, which is nice. But a lot of that will be split between spotting and tracking and won't be helpful towards our progression. Is what it is. So far we're at 3.3k damage, which is what we know for definite will help. With the CS-59, it was about 4k to hold the mark, which for this tank, when you're going for the combined damage and raw damage, wasn't that hard, to be honest, because the way just how quick you rack up damage is so good for this tank. And once you start getting above the 4k damage mark, that's where you started to really pick up percentage points. And now we've got rid of the threats behind us, except for the medium tank that's in the base, but he's been chased by a medium tank. I was like, okay, you know what, we're going to go get this Conqueror who is really left in the lurch. We managed to shut him down, and we know there was another tank, which I think was a tank destroyer. Yeah, it is a tank destroyer. It was somewhere over this direction, I was pretty sure. So it's like, okay, you know what, gonna do it. And you never know, we might find artillery, because our TD has been through their base, and artillery is still alive somewhere. And there's the TD that we knew was somewhere over here. We get a nice shot into the side of that Sturmtiger P. And it's just like, please give me another shot, sir. Oh, dear. He went straight off. Okay, sure. But we've got 5.2k damage with probably like 600, 700... I don't know how much tracking we probably... I think we've got probably 1,000 tracking or something like that. Maybe 1,000 spotting. That's what I say, we don't know. But we've probably got about 6k combined towards the percentage marks. And it's like, oh, hello, Mr. Artillery. Ah. Well, eye for an eye. Okay, we'll take it. We managed to kill him. He kills us. Finished the game with 5 kills, 5.7k damage, 2.1k assist. So, yeah. I mean, 7k, what, 7.8k combined, sure. But towards our MOE, probably 6.8. I'd say. I don't know. We don't know the true breakdown between the two that we got. Which is something we might have known pre 6.0 with the ribbons. But these days we don't know. We don't know what the split is. We just have to try and work it out. So we're in the third game and the final replay. And we are on El Alamein. And on El Alamein, from this spawn, the position at F5 is a very, very good position to go to. It's a very, very good position to go to because you can catch anyone crossing the J line. Catch anyone crossing the J line, you can farm a good few shots off. And with a tank like the CS-59, with such good DPM, it's where you can get 1,200 damage, 1,600 damage quite easily before the game's really even begun. Now, with the mobility at 50 kilometers an hour, it means that you don't quite get there to catch the fastest of tanks, but it's where you're hoping to catch the slowest of tanks. So as you see, there's a medium tank already spotted over there. Yeah, they're going to get there quicker. Like the M6 is 6 kilometers an hour. It's easy. But if there's any heavy tanks crossing, we're going to get some nice shots at them. So we boost our view range with food and our reload. Then these heavy tanks get spotted, and it's like, oh, hello, friends. This is where having a camo net might help, because if we had a camo net, for sure, firing at these guys, we're not going to get spotted. Unfortunately, we missed the first shot, but we go for the second shot into the side of the Chieftain, and it only does track damage. Come on, RNG. Then we pull shot it, probably a little bit tilt, because we just pulled the trigger a little bit too early. And we finally get a pen into the Chieftain. Oh, that's a fire machine, though. So we're going to go for the front of the FV215B, but again, we pull the trigger a little bit too early, which means we don't hit the front end, because obviously with an FV215B, it's got fuel tanks at the front and an engine. It's a just really easy tank to set on fire. You always want to aim for the front end of it. And unfortunately, just a poor aiming, poor timing, poor RNG. We only got 800 damage out there, where we probably, we fired 5 shells, 6 shells. We could have quite easily been at 2k there, but we just absolutely mucked it up. We do finally get spotted, though, by a heavy tank down there that's moving along, and it's like, okay, well, we're still in a good position. We get a nice shot into the back end of the Chieftain, though, up to 1200 damage. I know in this game that we're in at the minute, and another shot into the M60, I was at like 94.9, I think it was, something like that. So I probably just need 5k, you know? I probably need something substantial, well, not too substantial, you know, something that's just above the line. So I'm talking like 4k probably holds it. We probably need 5k just to get it over that 0.10 and get us that third mark of excellence for this tank. But at the same time, I was kind of like, I don't mind not getting it in this game, because I've enjoyed every single second of playing this tank. So it's one of those. Sometimes there's some MOE grinds that you're going, oh my god, just please give me the mark, and some that you're going, well, you know, I don't really mind not getting it so quickly, because I'm just thoroughly enjoying this. So right here, we've got a Super Conqueror coming after us. We're low premium because we want to guarantee going through this guy, because sometimes you do get random bounces. We end up tracking and amracking the guy, so he's used his repair kit, and look where we've tracked him. Oh, this is beautiful. This is the farm we want. We end up amracking him with that shell as well, and we've got this guy perma-tracked, and this is beautiful. We're just farming damage, and then this ST1 comes out of nowhere. And then we ricochet off his lower plate with premium. So what we're going to do now is we've got to get away from this situation. As we're going past the Super Conqueror, we get a shot into his lower plate. Then a Bisonte appears, fires a shot at us, gets us a second shot into us. We're up to 4k combined. We probably need like 3 more shots. And it's like, this has gone really badly very, very quickly. Where did all these people come from? So we're going to pop up, try and get some shots into their side. We get a nice shot into the ST1. Fortunately enough, he misses us. We're still getting assistance, though, because the Bisonte just got absolutely wrecked. We get a nice shot into the lower plate of the ST1, and then a FE4005 appears. Oh, what happened at the end of that game? Where did he come from? But we managed to get about 5.4k combined, something along those lines. And that got us over the line to 95.08, and that's all that matters. And our team managed to carry it to the victory as well, with 1,321 base XP for us. And we got the third mark of excellence for the CS-59. That last game was really chaotic, and it wasn't the wonder game that you always want to try and get for a third mark. It was just enough. And that's all that matters, really. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
Great success!